Hello and welcome back to Alice Talks Football, and welcome back to another live Manchester United news and transfer news show where we've got lots and lots and lots of news to get in today. So much has happened. We've got massive updates on Benjamin Sesko. The current situation is 3 teams waiting for Benjamin Sesko. United are one of them. Man United are the most advanced team in for Benjamin Sesko, and he's set to make a decision in the next week to where he's going to go. We will get into exactly what's been said about Benjamin Sesko. Fabrizio Romano's got into all the details of what's likely to happen in a second. But we've also got the big De Jong news. This story broke this morning from ORNSTIEN that Chelsea were in for De Jong and all of that, blah, 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 blah. And that De Jong, there was some reports saying De Jong could prefer Chelsea to United because Champions League because London appeals more than Manchester. Then you've got a journalist go on Sky Sports today and say they believe that De Jong will agree to join United over Chelsea and all that. And we are going to get into the De Jong news. It has been reported by some journalists that they believe De Jong will agree to join United for Chelsea. Some journalists saying that De Jong actually might prefer Chelsea. We're going to get into all the news in a second, what's been said, and then I'll tell you what sources are reliable and what the reliable sources have had to say. But also a really interesting thing that The Independent wrote about the De Jong situation, which could be Barcelona actually using Chelsea to get Man United to pay De Jong's wages as well. We've also got news about Manchester United in for Hakim Ziyech. I will get into that later in the show. This is a news story that's just come out, so I'd say expect some Hakim Ziyech news in the next 24 hours. And if we don't get any more Hakim Ziyech news this week, then it's probably a slight, page filler. Romano spoken about Luke Shaw, new contract, the future of lots of players. And as it stands, Brandon Williams has been put up for sale. Wan-Bissaka has been put up for sale. Alex Telles is going to Sevilla on loan. Bailly's been put up for sale. Jones has been put up for sale. And DC United interest in Jones and Axel Tuanzebe have all been put up for sale by Manchester United. So big clear up. But I'm going to get right into the news. So make sure you smash that like button, subscribe down below and share the video. Someone's asked me about Anthony. And let me talk about Anthony. Fabrizio Romano spoke about Anthony today, and Fabrizio Romano said on Anthony to Manchester United that he wouldn't rule out anything for Anthony because he's been one of Manchester United's top targets. However, the club will not spend upwards of 90 million euros on Anthony. Romano said a deal for Anthony will only be possible if Ajax are willing to negotiate different terms, but so far Ajax have insisted they're looking to keep Anthony for another year. So Romano said don't rule Anthony to United out. But right now it's unlikely because we're not going to spend the 90 million euros Ajax want for him. I think if Anthony pushes for the move, I think if Ajax decide they want to sell and Anthony's playing up, it will happen. But I think because of the price tag, unlikely as well. But Bournemouth wants Tuanzebe, Jones off to MLS, Barcelona playing United. And yeah, let's get into the De Jong news because there's reports about De Jong to Chelsea, but there's also reports about De Jong choosing to join Manchester United. So let's dive right into the De Jong news and see what De Jong has had to say. So it came out this morning from David Ornstein, and this was a reliable journalist confirming that Chelsea are in talks with Barcelona and hope to strike a deal for Frenkie de Jong. So fucking Chelsea, find your own bloody targets. Now I believe we're going to get De Jong. I've got to reiterate this to you guys. We wouldn't spend 13 weeks trying to sign a player that doesn't want to come to us. But United have obviously spoken to De Jong and know that De Jong wants to come because we wouldn't be wasting our time. And someone did say, United faithfuls did tweet De Jong is Man United's A, B, and C, clearly because Ten Hag desperately wants him, not because United refused to move on. We all want the Glazers out, but the truth is, while slandering United, remember that we're still waiting for De Jong because they're trying to bat Ten Hag. And that was what I thought was really interesting. But Chelsea are in for Frenkie de Jong. And I actually want to dive right into that. It has been said by Ornstein that Chelsea are hoping to get de Jong. And my first thought is, I do think de Jong will come to United because of other reports that come out today that I'm about to get into about de Jong agreeing to join United over Chelsea and that they believe de Jong will agree to join United over Chelsea. But what I do want to quickly say is Chelsea need to find their own targets. I swear, Chelsea are in for Sesko, Chelsea are in for De Jong. I swear to God, this is why a few players have gone to Barcelona, Chelsea, because you've got Todd Bowie in. That's not a proper, said his name wrong, but not he's just going for the obvious names that other teams are linked for. And I saw a tweet today saying, obviously, Chelsea probably just follow United reporter managing Barca and are just waiting to see who United, Barca and Arsenal in for before they choose their targets. Because Chelsea going in for De Jong, it's annoying. But Chelsea are fucking smart. Chelsea knew that they wouldn't be able to get De Jong until August because of the financial situation and the wages. So Chelsea thought, let's do everything first, and then when we eventually can actually sign De Jong, let's go back in for him. Chelsea saw De Jong had gone on tour. Chelsea saw De Jong was you know, couldn't leave Barcelona to August and that United were getting played. And Chelsea thought, well, let's not register a solid interest in De Jong to August, and then we'll go and swoop in on De Jong, because we're not going to waste the whole time on De Jong like Man United. But I don't think De Jong goes to Chelsea, and I'm going to tell you exactly why. Make sure you keep hitting that like button, guys, and do subscribe down below if you're new. People saying that De Jong wants UCL, but Chelsea, one of the reasons that reportedly, and it's come out today, that basically they believe De Jong will agree to join United over Chelsea, is because the Chelsea midfield's a lot more competitive for De Jong. Chelsea might have to sell a midfielder before they buy another one, because they do view defence and attack as priority. I think midfield's almost Chelsea's strongest point as well. But yeah, I will get into the news as well. I believe for Frenkie de Jong's at United when he signs, it's just gone on too long. It's gone on too long. I'm still confident that it will happen, but it's gone on too long. How do you see CR7 as the most abused Man United? Because most of it's Messi fans as well. Jorginho could be going Juventus. Ziyech for short-term solution. Benjamin, Sesko, Dumfries, Fabio and Ruiz, says Guns Benjamin. All solid points, but I'm actually going to get into the De Jong news on what's been said. I will share some of it on my screen. So, obviously came out that Chelsea were in for De Jong this morning. But Rob Dawson of ESPN, now remember, Rob Dawson was the first journalist to break that Ten Hag would join United. So he's not a bad journalist. Rob Dawson said there is still confidence a deal can be reached for Frenkie de Jong despite the standoff with Barcelona over deferred wages. While the clubs are also looking to add a forward and a right back and a backup keeper into the squad before the window closes. So Rob Dawson has come out and said that United are hopeful they will be able to get Frenkie de Jong despite the standoff with Barcelona. He also said not only are United confident they'll still be able to get Frenkie de Jong, but Rob Dawson's obviously come out and said that we're still in for a goalkeeper, we're still in for a right back, and we're still in for another attacker. And that's been confirmed by Rob Dawson. That's quite a good journalist. So what I will do actually is I'm going to show you guys everything that's been said about the De Jong thing, because I've only just gotten to the start of the whole De Jong saga. So that was obviously what came out first. It was then followed up by Sport today saying that De Jong's agent Ali Derzan will meet Barcelona to clarify the future today. As I speak, there is a meeting going on. As I speak right now, there is a meeting going on between Frenkie de Jong's agent and Barcelona right now. Now, that meeting between Frenkie de Jong's agent and Barcelona right now might just be another pointless meeting where they have a disagreement, or it could be a meeting where something is maybe organised. You know, you've got to bear that in mind as well. You know, there's a meeting going on as I speak between De Jong's agent and Barcelona. Could something be organised? Could something be in the works? Could this be the start of something? So that's also come out today as well. It also came out from Alvaro Montero, a decent Spanish journalist, who went on Sky today saying that De Jong would favour United over Chelsea. And a couple of journalists have been saying that De Jong will agree to join Manchester United and not Chelsea when he's eventually forced out of Barcelona. So obviously, as you can see on my screen here, if you ask me, De Jong would favour United over Chelsea. So we've got more journalists coming out sort of suggesting that De Jong would favour United over Chelsea. But what came out today, and this is the really interesting report, and actually this is what I did want to get into, and then I will browse into the live chat, guys, in just a second. But I found this report really interesting as well. But a lot of people saying they've got no idea what's happening with De Jong. We are a sleeping giant. Chelsea are a second-tier team. It's hard to beat Chelsea to a player, but remember, Chelsea did want Sancho. We managed to win that as well. Benjamin Sesko, I'm going to get into that in just a second as well. De Jong 100% leaving Barca via Helena Kundis, who's a Tier 1 journalist as well. Yeah, we have Tier 1 journalists confirming De Jong will 100% leave Barca. And I think this Frenkie de Jong deal will last to the end of the window. I do. But continue. So it's also been said by Miguel Delaney. Now, this is the report that I think is really, really interesting. So Miguel Delaney came out and said that De Jong has naturally been speaking to his former manager Erik ten Hag, and Manchester United have been effectively caught in a dispute between the club and the player, but one that has now seen Barca get increasingly alert to the fact that they're running out of time to get the player off the books. So Miguel Delaney starts his report to the Independent about, you know, United obviously very much in for De Jong and all of that, but now Barcelona are getting concerned that they can't seem to be getting rid of De Jong. He said De Jong's been speaking to Ten Hag naturally. United want, you know, De Jong, but he's saying Barcelona are actually quite alert at the fact they can't get rid of De Jong. Barcelona need to get rid of De Jong, and Barcelona thought De Jong would be gone by now, and Barcelona are going, shit, we're starting to panic. We need to get rid of De Jong. And if you notice, over the last week, Barcelona have been offering De Jong money for him to leave. Barcelona have slowly started offering De Jong money for him to leave because they want to get rid of him that bad. And that's obviously something that Miguel Delaney came out and said as well. But it's also come out with, and this is what the Independent said. The Independent has been told that although Manchester United have long felt the transfer could go to the wire, Barca expect De Jong to be gone by now. And it is for that reason that Barcelona have heightened talks with Chelsea to see if anything could be done quickly. So it's come out from the Independents and Miguel Delaney that obviously because De Jong hasn't gone by now and because Barcelona are desperate to get rid of De Jong because they need to get him off their books, they're actually entertaining the idea of Chelsea Barcelona because they might think maybe we can A, scare Manchester United into hurrying up, giving us a bit more money and paying De Jong's wages because Barcelona are absolute players, or B, we can actually get De Jong off our books now a Champions League side is in for him. And it was said, Sky are saying that De Jong would prefer United over Chelsea, but it was said by the Times today that Chelsea are the front runners now to sign De Jong, who appears to favour a move to London because of the prospect of playing UCL, and that De Jong's agent is scheduled to meet Barcelona today. So it's a day where it's a bit worrying because you've got some reports saying De Jong will agree to join United over Chelsea. You've got some reports saying De Jong is going to go to Chelsea, and it's very mixed. Now, you've got David Ornstein saying that now Chelsea are actually in for De Jong, and that could change the whole way the thing moves. But I'm going to be honest with you guys. De Jong has had so many conversations with Ten Hag. I think Chelsea have UCL football. I think Chelsea have London. But I think, if De Jong comes to United, he's with Ten Hag. He's the main guy. He's the main character. I'll tell you this now. We will know De Jong is off when United are seriously considering another midfielder. Jurrien Timber, remember, he agreed to join United. Jurrien Timber had a verbal agreement with Man United. He agreed to join us verbally. And then all of a sudden, we just went in for Lisandro Martinez because we were then told that Jurrien Timber got cold feet about joining United. Jurrien Timber was having second thoughts. So United go all in for Lisandro Martinez because Jurrien Timber's bottling it. Okay? De Jong right now was probably verbally told Erik ten Hag once he gets his wage situation sorted, he will join United. Now, because the fact that I believe that De Jong, I believe that De Jong has told Ten Hag verbally he will join United because we're still in for De Jong. We're not looking at else. We're still in for De Jong because from what De Jong and Ten Hag have spoken about privately, Ten Hag is confident De Jong will come. No matter how long it's dragging out, no matter that he's gone on pre-season tour, Ten Hag is confident De Jong will come. So that says to me, De Jong and Ten Hag have a verbal agreement. Now, there could be a situation where De Jong goes to Ten Hag. Now Chelsea are interested. I prefer them. And if that is the case, we will be linked to Neves, Tielemans, a couple other midfielders left, right and centre in the coming days. If we are only linked to De Jong throughout the next week, and the only midfielder we're seriously linked to throughout the next week is De Jong, that is because that will confirm that De Jong wants United over Chelsea. Because with Jurrien Timber, we had him. He verbally agreed to come. He told Ten Hag he'd want to come. As soon as Timber was like, no, actually, I'm going to stay at Ajax. I'm a bit concerned about game time. Lisandro Martinez links came out like that. It came out just like that. And the fact that, there's been a day of reports that apparently De Jong would prefer Chelsea, but there's not been any reports that we're all of a sudden switching our attention to Tielemans or Neves. There's been none. So the way I look at it is if Man United aren't getting linked to other midfielders, it is because De Jong is still privately indicating to Ten Hag he wants to come. De Jong's been privately indicating to Ten Hag for months he wants to come. He wants to sort out his wage situation. He could change his mind with Chelsea coming in, definitely possible. But I don't think we've got anything to worry about until we start getting linked to other midfielders. Until we're seriously in for Tielemans or seriously in for Neves, I don't think there's anything to worry about. I think that is the current situation with De Jong as well. Make sure you do hit that like button and subscribe down below as well. Renato Sanchez, 15 million. I will talk about that transfer rumour in a second. Let's bet 100 euros. De Jong will join Chelsea as well. We've got Erik ten Hag, remember, and I don't think Chelsea are that good as well. And Timber turned it down after Van Gaal turned him off the deal. I actually think we've got a better centre-back because of the Dutch bias for Timber. I agree as well, mate. I actually agree as well, mate. And Renato Sanchez has joined PSG, as Nick had said as well. But I'd have liked Renato Sanchez, but he has gone to PSG. And I seriously believe Frenkie de Jong's already got an agreement with Ten Hag. I think there could be a verbal agreement between Frenkie de Jong and Ten Hag. I don't know. I don't know anything that you guys don't know. I just read what the reliable journalists say and figure out what kind of the situation is. And I wouldn't be shocked if there's a verbal agreement between Frenkie de Jong and Ten Hag saying he'll come. Because a verbal agreement isn't written down on paper. A verbal agreement isn't agreeing personal terms. A verbal agreement is just him saying to Ten Hag, yeah, I will be open to joining United. I've got the situation going on with Barcelona, but Eric, I will be open to joining United, so wait out for me. I generally think what Ten Hag and Frenkie de Jong have spoken about is Frenkie de Jong saying to Ten Hag, just wait for me. I know it's going to be a long process, but I do want to come. There's a verbal agreement there. A verbal agreement isn't a signed contract. It isn't written down on paper. and all of that. So all of a sudden he could go to Ten Hag, actually have changed my mind. Look, Chelsea are interested now. I do want UCL football. But if that is the case, we're going to get linked to loads of midfielders. If right now De Jong wants United over Chelsea, right now De Jong has verbally agreed to join United over Chelsea, probably privately to Ten Hag on the phone. Now, if De Jong changes his mind like Jurriën Timber did, we'll soon find out. And if we're sitting here in 48 hours and nothing's going on with De Jong to Chelsea and United are not linked to any other midfielders other than Frenkie de Jong, then I'm pretty confident the situation stays the same, that De Jong wants United, because he cannot stay at Chelsea. The reason the reason Barcelona are entertaining Chelsea is because De Jong must go for the registered players. De Jong must be off the wage bill. De Jong must go. Barcelona are even starting to offer De Jong some of the wages they owe him. They're desperate to get rid of him. They're panicking. And they're using Chelsea because they're like, we need to get rid of De Jong. Maybe he'll go to Chelsea. But he still wants United and he still wants his wages. And even though there's a big meeting between De Jong's agent and Barcelona tonight, I think tomorrow we'll have an indication of what that meeting was about. Is that meeting that De Jong's finally going to get his wages and leaving? Is that meeting that De Jong could be going to Chelsea? Is that mean because De Jong could be going to United? But I just think, wait and see, because we've got some journalists saying De Jong prefers Chelsea, some journalists saying De Jong prefers United. I think the best thing you can do is wait and see. Antony is too expensive. Ronaldo is leaving. We'll talk about Ronaldo leaving and Antony to Manchester United in a second. De Jong joining United for over a month now. De Jong's been joining United for 3 fucking months. We're in week 13. We're in week 13 of De Jong to United. You know, it's annoying as well. But yeah, until De Jong is signing a contract, we know nothing. And that is the annoying situation. It's a long, annoying situation with De Jong. And I will just say, like, time will tell. But De Jong has reportedly told Ten Hag privately that he'd want to come. Now, a player that, you know what, I'm going to say this with De Jong. I'm going to get into the Ziyech news because United are in for Ziyech, according to reports. But before I get into the Ziyech news, I want to get into Benjamin Sesko. The situation with De Jong is the De Jong situation is going to drag out. It's going to drag out. It's going to drag out. Benjamin Sesko could be done this week. Now, I don't know if Benjamin Sesko to United will be done this week, but United, obviously Chelsea, who keep going for all our targets now, and PSG have all inquired about Benjamin Sesko and all had meetings and talks with Benjamin Sesko. In fact, Manchester United, and this was confirmed by Fabrizio Romano, have had the most talks and most contact with Benjamin Sesko. Manchester United have been in regular touch with Benjamin Sesko, regular talks with Benjamin Sesko, and this was confirmed by Fabrizio Romano. And basically, you know, Fabrizio Romano came out and pretty much said something along the lines of Sesko's going to make his decision. So what was actually said about Sesko to United? And this was my favourite thing, and I'm going to get this up first. I'm going to get it up on the screen as well. I will get back into the De Jong news because a little bit more news has just come out on De Jong now, but I just want to get through this Sesko story, and then I'm going to get into some big De Jong news that's just sort of coming out now as well. So make sure you smash that like button, and of course subscribe down below if you're new to the channel as well. Let me zoom in so you can see that a little bit better. But it came out again from Fabrizio Romano. In terms of attacking targets, Sasa Kalalovic has always been a name that's been mentioned, but Benjamin Sesko is higher on the list. So that's Fabrizio Romano confirming Benjamin Sesko is a high attacking target. But what Fabrizio Romano said about Benjamin Sesko today is the real interesting thing. Now, this was from Fabrizio Romano. He said, key days for Benjamin Sesko's future with contacts ongoing are approaching. He said, Manchester United know they have to be fast on the Sesko deal after meetings with his agent. Romano said there are 2 more clubs in the race for Sesko, and Sesko will make a decision soon with his agent and his family. But the most important thing Romano says is that last bit of information Romano has to say about Benjamin Sesko. And Fabrizio Romano says that Sesko is going to make his decision soon. Sesko, in the coming days, is going to decide if he wants to go to United, PSG, Chelsea, or stay at Salzburg for another year. That's what Sesko is going to make, that big decision in the coming days. So I'm going to say to you now, guys, make sure you're subscribed to the channel if you're not already subscribed to Alice Talks Football, because if you do want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates and more, please do subscribe down below, because Sesko is set to make a big decision in the coming days. And in the next few days, we will find out if Sesko could be going to United. Will he go to PSG? Will he go to Chelsea? Or will he stay at RB Salzburg? And Romano did say that Chelsea have had a meeting with the agent of Benjamin Sesko last week, but Manchester United have had more than one direct meeting. And there are lots of clubs in the race with Benjamin Sesko, but United are the one that have had multiple direct meetings, and the decision is up for the player. So the decision is down to Benjamin Sesko. He's spoken with a few clubs, but even Romano saying Benjamin Sesko has spoken to United the most, and that Sesko will make his decision in the next few days. So this current Sesko situation, and this has all been confirmed by Fabrizio Romano, is United want Sesko. United have spoken to Sesko more than any other club. There are other clubs interested in Sesko. Sesko's going to wait a few days to make his decision. So I will say this now, we could get some big news on Sesko to Man United in the coming days, or it could be dry and he could just be like, you know what, I need another year in the Austrian Bundesliga and all of that. Guys, I just want to throw this out now. Please do subscribe to Alice Talks Football if you're new. If you do want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates, and more, make sure you subscribe to Alice Talks Football because I go live every single evening on the channel, keeping you guys up to date with all the latest news. We've obviously got all the De Jong news. Make sure you're subscribed. All the Sesko news, make sure you're subscribed. We are going to get to the Ziyech news in just a second, but there's, everything's going to happen in the next month. All the ins, all the outs are going to happen in the next month. So if you're subscribed, you'll be up to date with what's going on with De Jong, who's going to join next, who's going to go. I'm also doing a watch along for the Brighton game at the weekend. So just wanted to throw that out because obviously we are only 95. We're only 95. Sorry, not 95. We're only 25 subscribers away from 43.3k. So it would be really appreciated as well. Cucurella to Chelsea looking very, very likely as well. West Ham is showing up this transfer window. West Ham could finish above United if we're not ready as well. And United have now squandered millions on past windows. I feel like Erik ten Hag will not allow that. This was always going to be a transitional year. I think he'll pay what it takes for the players he wants, not others, says Gerard Ryan. And this is actually something I was going to talk about. This is a really interesting comment here from Gerard because with the Frenkie de Jong situation, Erik ten Hag said to Man United, there's no one I want other than Frenkie de Jong. I'm not interested in signing anyone else. I only want de Jong. And this is what ten Hag has actually come out and said to United. He said, I only want Frenkie de Jong. And ten Hag's in a situation. Fabrizio Romano has just confirmed Cucurella to Chelsea, so hopefully they don't have the funds to get de Jong because Cucurella must have been like 50 million. But so that's crazy. But what I feel about the situation is ten Hag is very much like, if it's not the player I want, I don't want it. Ten Hag has come out and consistently said, if this is not the player I want to sign, then I don't want it. And ten Hag would rather us be a player or two short and only have the players he wants than actually, sign things. Actually sign players he doesn't want. Ten Hag's very specific. He's like, I only want de Jong. So the reason we haven't gone and brought another midfielder in that's cheaper than de Jong is because ten Hag only wants de Jong. That is the situation as well. Ten Hag only wanted Lisandro Martinez and Timber. Even though United recommended Pau Torres, Ten Hag was like, I want Lisandro Martinez if I can't get Timber. Ten Hag is very much like he only wants certain players. So I think with de Jong as well, the reason we're so in for de Jong is because he only wants de Jong. Big season for Erik ten Hag, and if Erik ten Hag feels that way with our board, he will massively pay the price. Yes, I do agree with you to an extent there, Alex, but I think, the board are backing Ten Hag. The board are going, you know what? We're going to get you Ten Hag wants and what Ten Hag wants only. We're going to do what Ten Hag wants. And the board are backing Ten Hag. Not in a literal sense. They're not backing him in the sense of they're not getting loads of players and they're not spending lots of money. But the players we're working on are only players Ten Hag needs. And it's an annoying situation because we haven't got enough players and we're not prepared for the season. And the board have been useless. But they're making sure when they do sign players, it is the right player. Now, it's frustrating because it takes us too long to sign players. We could have got deals done in May and we delayed it because we just couldn't be bothered. And now it's more expensive. Now we can't do those deals. But all the deals we are hoping to do are players that Ten Hag wants. In the past, and this actually came out, remember, this came out from Laurie Whitwell a couple of days ago, that Ollie actually never approved of Ronaldo to Man United. Woodward saw it, thought it's going to generate a lot of money, and signed off Ronaldo to United without talking to anyone. That was the situation that came out United in the past. They would literally see a deal and be like, that would be good, and then they would sign it, and they would sign it off. Whereas this time, United are hoping to full on, talk to Ten Hag and make sure they get who Ten Hag wants. But Cucurella has joined Chelsea, which means Brighton versus Man United will make our life a little bit easier, not having to play against Cucurella as well. I do want to talk about what Fabrizio Romano has had to say. Sorry, not Fabrizio Romano. What Ten Hag's had to say regarding Ronaldo leaving early as well. I am going to talk about the Ronaldo leaving early situation in just a minute as well. Who is Sasuke now? A Bundesliga striker. That is our option as well. And how long before our players throw him under the bus, the board will bin him and go for you-know-who. The problem is, I'm hoping because Ten Hag's only bringing in the players he wants and because Ten Hag's strict and Ten Hag's fined some United players for breaking rules, that Ten Hag will gain the respect of the players and they'll actually be too scared to throw him under the bus. And because Ten Hag will get the players in he wants and get rid of the players he doesn't want within the next 2 windows, we won't have a situation where Ten Hag is constantly being thrown under the bus as well. All the English players should be called apart from Sancho and Ghana. I actually thought Maguire was quite impressive on pre-season tour, to be honest. He's going to play next to Martinez at the weekend. Maguire will start over Varane. I think, a lot of the English players aren't good enough, but I'm trying to be, because it's a new season, I'm trying to be very, very positive. Trying to be very, very positive because it's a new season about, Maguire and Shaw, because I know they're going to play and I hope they play well as well. No Champions League, no De Jong. We'll have to wait and see with that. But I want to get into the Ronaldo news because I'm actually intrigued to know your thoughts. So unless you've been living under a rock, you'll know that Ronaldo left the Rayo Vallecano game early. Unless you've been living under a rock, you know that. So basically what happened is we played Rayo Vallecano on Sunday. Ronaldo came for half-time and Ronaldo, Delo, Bruno and a lot of Man United players were seen leaving the stadium early. Now, there were reports that had come out saying that, Ronaldo was told to leave the stadium early. There were reports coming out saying that, these players were told to leave the stadium early to beat the traffic. There was a lot of mixed reports coming out. There were some reports coming out saying Erik ten Hag didn't know anything. There were some reports coming out saying United refused to comment on it. And there were some reports coming out saying United had given them permission. It's all a bit of a weird situation at the moment. But Ten Hag actually come out today and said that he did not condone the Manchester United players leaving early against Rayo Vallecano. And this is unacceptable for everyone. He said, we are a team, you have to stay till the end. So it seems that Ten Hag is getting a bit frustrated with this. Now, I don't know if Ten Hag is saying that he wouldn't condone this, and he did give them permission. But from what I've read, from the words that come out of Ten Hag's mouth, it seems that Ronaldo and a load of Man United players just left the stadium halfway through the Rayo Vallecano game without permission from their manager. Ten Hag just left. And if that is the case, then that is really embarrassing. That shows the players not respecting the manager. That shows a severe lack of respect from the players to the manager. Because everyone thinks it's Ronaldo, but it wasn't just Ronaldo that left. It was 5-6 Man United players left the stadium early. And Ten Hag doesn't condone this. There's reports of these players being fined and all of that. But the fact that Ten Hag didn't give him permission and a load of players left is what worries me. Because Ten Hag's come and he's been strict. We're thinking, okay, Ten Hag's, putting his authority down. He's going to teach these players a lesson. He's going to be strict. He's going to tell them how it is. And then your players are coming out and going, just going to leave the stadium when they want without permission from Ten Hag and walk all over Ten Hag. That worries me. Are we going to have player power problems in the dressing room next season? Are there going to be issues with player power in the dressing room next season? Are players going to listen to Ten Hag, respect Ten Hag? Because Rangnick came in and a few players listened to Rangnick. Fred did, Alanga did, the players that played regularly did, but a lot of players didn't, so it was a mess on the pitch. Are these players going to stop listening to Erik ten Hag? And if they do stop listening to Erik ten Hag, that's when you're in trouble. If they are leaving the game early without permission, that is a bad attitude because it's disrespectful to the team, it's disrespectful to the manager. And hopefully this is something that gets disciplined, fined, and doesn't happen again. But when I do look at the situation and I'm saying Ten Hag's coming out saying he doesn't condone this, I'm thinking, oh, okay, so they've all left early. And look, I don't know the situation. I don't know any more than you guys know, but I do think, no one should be leaving the stadium early, whether you're Cristiano Ronaldo or not. And I will say, I want to say this right now. Alice, what's the story of Des from Barca? I will get into the Des news in a second. I want to say this right now regarding Ronaldo. A lot of people are asking for my opinion on the Cristiano Ronaldo situation. And how I feel about it is, I love Cristiano Ronaldo, and I do not blame Ronaldo for wanting to leave Man United. I know if Ronaldo does leave Man United, the Man United media will like to make him out to be a monster. He is the most hated player online. However, I think the way Ronaldo's gone about wanting to leave is really embarrassing and slightly unprofessional. Now, I think Ronaldo's a professional player. He's a good player. He trains. I won't criticise Ronaldo too much because he was one of the only players that actually tried and played well for us last season. He lost a kid. He played a few days later while other players were walking around. And that's how I do feel regarding the Cristiano Ronaldo situation. I think I will not. I love Ronaldo. I don't blame him for wanting to leave. I have a lot of respect for Ronaldo. But I do think the way he's gone about trying to leave is embarrassing. Not going on a pre-season tour, missing the first 3-4 weeks of training because of a family issue, which, if I'm being honest, everyone's allowed their own opinion. But the more and more I put 2 and 2 together, at first I believed it's a family issue. Now I don't really. Wanting to leave, wanting out, causing this big drama at Carrington, bringing his agent. The fact I don't believe that it was family drama with Ronaldo is the fact that when he returned to Carrington, he brought his agent with him because he had a meeting with them. If it was family drama to why he was off, why would he be bringing his agent to the meeting? If it was about transfer, he does. And then it came out that the meeting was about Ronaldo wanting to leave, but the board trying to convince him to stay. And the situation with Ronaldo is, if Ronaldo knew that Bayern Munich wanted him and he wanted Bayern Munich and he announced he wanted to leave and then he went to Bayern Munich, bish, bash, bosh, that's done. But Ronaldo's wanting to leave and not doing training and wants out of the club, but no one wants Ronaldo. So we've got a player that wants to leave, that we can't really get rid of because no one really wants him, but he wants to leave and he's going to demand to leave by August and he's going to find a way out because he's Ronaldo. And, you know, I think he should have just shut up. I think he shouldn't have released that he wanted to leave unless there was a club in for him, because I think if he'd released to leave and he left a week later, fine. But it's causing a big hole in our transfer window because United don't know if they need to invest in a striker or not. You know, as Romano said, we are looking at Sasa Kaladic. We don't know if we should actually invest him or not because we don't know if Ronaldo's going to be here. And, you know, United, if Ronaldo was going to leave, would want him to leave in July. So they've got a month to think, okay, shit, now we know Ronaldo's leaving. But this is annoying for United because they can't plan because they don't know if Ronaldo's going to go or not. Ronaldo doesn't know if he's going to go or not, but they're making a big mess out of this. And Ronaldo's making this too public, too much of a mess. And it is frustrating me how Ronaldo's been late for training and all that. We have got a super chat. So let me just quickly dive into the super chat here. Thank you very much for the £10 donation. Country Factors conferences really means a lot. I do appreciate the support as well. Let's get rid of Phil Jones. Reports that Phil Jones could be going to DC United. Ronaldo does not want to play roughly with the same squad as last season. Ronaldo doesn't want to play because the players are shit, and that's true. Showcart Khan says, sell Ronaldo, buy Sesko. The thing is, this is how I feel about Sesko, okay? I think Sesko is a brilliant signing. I'm a big fan of Benjamin Sesko, but Sesko doesn't replace Ronaldo. Sesko is the kind of player you buy and you send him back out on loan to Salzburg for a year and then have him next season. I don't think he's going to walk in and be ready. And the reason I'm not all for Sesko, I want Sesko, but I almost want him next season. The reason I'm not all for Benjamin Sesko, even though we need a striker, is we've got a front three of Martial, Rashford, Sancho, and a Ronaldo that wants to leave. So I'm not even going to include Ronaldo in the front three. If an injury happens or an illness happens, which will happen to either Martial, Sancho, or Rashford, our options are Jong, Ahmad, Palestri, Garner, and Elanga. Elanga, not good enough, needs a loan. Jong, definitely not good enough. You've got to look at the other. You've got Garnacho, who's raw. You've got Palestri, who's a good young talent, but raw, and not in a massive job from Sancho. And Ahmad, a good young talent, probably needs a loan, but raw. It's an absolute severe drop-off going from Sancho to the next player. And with Benjamin Sesko, I think he's a great player, but again, he's like a Garnacho, but a little bit a level ahead, where he's not 100% Prem ready yet. He's not 100% Prem ready. And I think it's a good signing, but I think he's a player you sign, you send him back out on loan next season, and actually you go and get an attacker in for this season as well. Thank you very much, Nick, for joining the Members Club. Appreciate that as well. Make sure you hit that like button, guys, if you have not already. And, of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. If you're new to the channel, guys, I just want to let you know that I go live every single evening on my channel, keeping you guys up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, and more. So make sure you click that subscribe button. I'm only 11 subscribers away from 43.3k. We've got over 1,000 people watching. I'm sure 11 of you aren't subscribed, and it's absolutely free to subscribe. So do click that subscribe button. 11 subscribers to hit that target of 43.3k. The Sesko situation, as Fabrizio Romano said, Sesko is going to make a decision about his future in the coming days. So this week, we'll probably find out if we're going to get Sesko or not this summer. So do make sure you're subscribed, because once we find out what's going to happen with Sesko, which we'll probably find out this week, I'll be live to let you guys know. Also, De Jong, as I spoke about De Jong, some sources saying De Jong wants Man United and De Jong's going to agree to join Man United. Other sources saying De Jong's going to agree to join Chelsea. I will tell you this now with Frenkie de Jong. If De Jong agrees to join Chelsea, we'll be linked to Neves and Tielemans tomorrow. If De Jong is favouring Chelsea over United, we're all of a sudden going to get Neves and Tielemans links. So if United start getting Neves and Tielemans linked, we need to be a bit concerned. What I will say, though, is De Jong's privately had conversations with Ten Hag, talks to Ten Hag a lot, and has sort of hinted that he wants to come to Ten Hag. Okay? If De Jong changes his mind, he will tell Ten Hag he changes his mind, and we'll be looking at other midfielders. So if I'm doing a video tomorrow saying United are closing on the Tielemans, that probably means De Jong's going to Chelsea. Some reports saying De Jong prefers United to Chelsea and will agree to join United over Chelsea. other reports saying De Jong prefers Chelsea. We will find out if De Jong wants to go to Chelsea United in the coming days. So there's so much to come out this week. So I think we'll know what De Jong's going to do, United or Chelsea. I think we'll find out about Sesko's future. But also there's rumours about Ziyech to United. We also want a right back in Dumfries. We also want a backup goalie. Telles has just gone out. We just got rid of Alex Telles. Tuanzebe, Jones and Bailly set to go. Bailly to Roma, Jones to DC United, Tuanzebe maybe to Southampton. But Brown and Williams and Wan-Bissaka are also for sale. So United are actually, believe it or not, it feels like we're doing nothing, are doing a fair bit at the moment. So do make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on the latest news as well. De Jong is undecided on where he wants to go next. He's given indication to Ten Hag that he would agree to join United, though. Peter says Ronaldo issue is something we don't need now. I remember our manager saying that if any player has an issue, he should come to him and his management, but Ronaldo's doing the opposite. Very good point here from Peter. And I love Ronaldo. I will try and defend Ronaldo as much as I can, but I cannot defend Ronaldo on this. I think the matter that the way Ronaldo has gone about trying to leave and the way Ronaldo's gone around the situation is very, very unprofessional. He needs to be going to Ten Hag and addressing Ten Hag. And you know what? The thing that really, really frustrated me was Ten Hag's come out and said, well, as you said, like, you know, if there's a problem, I want them to come to me. I don't want them to leak it. What's Ronaldo been doing? The whole tour, Ronaldo hadn't had contact with Ten Hag. Ronaldo's first contact with Ten Hag was when he came to Carrington last week with George Mendes causing a storm last week. You know, there was 3-4 weeks of news coming out and out and out about Ronaldo wanting to go, Ronaldo Chelsea, Ronaldo Bayern, and he hadn't communicated this with Ten Hag. All this news just came out, and that really annoyed me about Ten Hag. And then obviously the news coming out that Ronaldo's leaving training early. Not training early, sorry, left the match early. And that wasn't just Ronaldo that left the match early without Ten Hag's position. And also Ronaldo not doing the first month of training because of family issues. And I would defend Ronaldo. I can't blame Ronaldo for wanting to leave. But I think the way Ronaldo's acted in this situation is quite disrespectful towards Ten Hag, because he missed the first 3 weeks of training because of a family issue. And if it really was a family issue, then why are you bringing your agents with you to training? He missed the first 3 weeks of training because of a family issue because he wanted out. Okay, so he didn't go on tour because he wanted out. He didn't communicate this with Ten Hag. He then leaked, you know, it all kept coming out in the media before he was communicating it with Ten Hag. He comes back to Carrington, he wants out. He plays 45 minutes, then leaves. And it's like, well, Ten Hag's not giving you permission to leave. So why are you leaving? And I think that is quite disrespectful. And that does frustrate me. And whether he'll get fined or not, whether there'll be disciplinary action or not, we'll have to wait out and see. But I think the way that Ronaldo's acted in this situation is very unprofessional. I don't blame Ronaldo for wanting to leave. I don't think you can blame Ronaldo for wanting to leave. The squad is shit. Let's be honest. But I think the matter that he's gone about wanting to leave is unprofessional. It really, really is as well. Don't worry, folks. De Jong is coming. Who fucking knows what's going on with De Jong? But I'm still positive. As Nick says, Sevilla will be paying all of De Jong's wages too. Not De Jong's, fucking hell. Tellers' wages too. So we actually are saving a bit of money, sending Tellers out on loan as well. Thank you very much for the super chat. Country Factor Conferences. Alice, please understand the following. Ronaldo will be leaving its business and on the right terms. The issue resolving his contract, and this is inevitable. Ronaldo's pretty much gone. I think you're right, mate. I think Ronaldo is pretty much gone. I do agree with that. And thank you so much for the super chat. It's really, really appreciated as well. Brian said he's worried what De Jong will do, what he thinks is best for his career. Could it be going to Chelsea? It's an interesting one because I don't think Chelsea are in the best position right now. I don't think Chelsea are a more ambitious club than United, but I don't think I'm not confident Chelsea will get top 4 next season. I'm not. The squad we got now will start the season. This is the thing. We will talk about the Man United squad that's going to play versus Brentford. I don't know if you guys did actually watch my video. Let me go over to YouTube. I don't know if you guys watched my video from the other day, but if I go over here, I actually did a video called Ten Hag's Man United starting 11 versus Brighton, where I did a whole breakdown of what is believed to be the starting 11 that we will play versus Brighton. It was based off the Atletico Madrid game and Ten Hag's plans, and obviously it was very similar to the lineups that played last year. In fact, it was pretty much Fred and the same players playing, which I think was a bit of a frustrating situation. But what I will do is we will go to chosen 11 and we will talk about the lineup that will most likely play versus Brighton in just a sec. But Man United, obviously, you know, we've got De Gea that's going to play in goal versus Brighton. And I tell you this now, Dean Henderson's been doing the Liam Payne in his recent interviews. Dean Henderson's been doing absolute Liam Payne in his recent interviews as well. Chelsea have made De Jong. Chelsea have made an offer for De Jong as well. Big up everybody in the chat. I'm 99% sure De Jong will go to Chelsea. They're already spending 150 million. I mean, Chelsea are spending the money. Will they have the money left to pay 85 million euros for De Jong? Probably, because it's Chelsea, which is worrying as well. I love Ronaldo. I want him to stay, but his behaviour is tarnishing his legacy. I think that's a very good way of putting it as well. Ronaldo was probably the ringleader of players leaving early. I'm not going to jump to that kind of conclusion. I'm not going to go in on Ronaldo for leaving early, because loads of players did leave early as well. And should we switch Ronaldo for Ziyech with Chelsea? I think if we get Ziyech, it should be a short-term loan move until we can get Antony next year, because I think with Ziyech's age and injury issues, I know he was great under Ten Hag. I don't think it's the best business as well. But yeah, wrong one. I've read that we are paying more than half of Tellers' wages. It's come out the saying that Sevilla will pay all of Tellers' wages as well. Fact check, sorry, he said Pendu should just rot on the bench. Spurs tamed Kane, but Man United seems a smaller club bowing to Pendu. I think, you know what? I think with Ronaldo, I think we should just let him go if he wants to leave, because we don't want that negatively affecting the dressing room. We don't, there's already players coming out and disrespecting Ten Hag, saying they want to leave, leaving the match early. I don't want any issues in the dressing room. I think we should let Ronaldo go. However, Kane made it very public he wanted to leave Spurs, stayed at Spurs, happy at Spurs now, and had a very good season. So I don't think it's the end of the world if we do happen to keep Kane as well. What's the latest on Tony to United? He was a player we're interested in, but nothing solid as well. It seems that our number one striker target is Sesko, followed by Sasa Kalovic. I don't know how to say his name. This is why I need to play FIFA again. I haven't played FIFA in years. But the one thing about FIFA was I could actually pronounce people's names when I played FIFA, because the commentary would come up so sweaty. It's so hot in England. I'm absolutely sweating. So let me just move about. I've got so much news to actually get into in today's show. Regarding the Brighton game, though, and then I will get into some chats. Delo will play. I put Delo in my fantasy team this year because he's going to play regularly. Malacia is likely to start over Shaw. It's reported to be Lindelof and Maguire, but Martinez is in contention for where Lindelof is playing. Varane, very unlikely to start over Maguire. People will be shocked by that, but as it stands, it will be Maguire and Martinez as the first pairing. Fred will play 100% confirmed versus Brighton. I think it will be McTominay for now, but I don't think he will actually play long term. I think we could see Sancho on the right. If Martial stays fit, then he is the striker. And obviously Rashford on the left. However, so this is, I think, Ten Hag's plan for the Brighton game. This is what he did versus Atletico Madrid. However, there are reports that Martial's got a hamstring injury and might not be able to play. So if that was the case, you could see Bruno as a false nine and maybe Eriksen in here. You never know. We could see something like this. Now, I think we will see. I actually think we could see. I don't know if we'll see this versus Brighton, but I do think long term, Erik Ten Hag might go something like this. If I can sort of Fred, Eriksen, Bruno a little bit deeper, Martial as the striker. We could see something like this, and then I think it will be Lindelof over Martinez. I've been reportedly because of just Lindelof's more fit, but we know Martinez will be the left-sided centre back long term, but you might not be 100% fit for Brighton. But I do think we'll probably see a lineup along this lines for United going into next season, depending on De Jong or not. If we don't get De Jong, that will probably be our lineup going into next season as well. Why are we not targeting Fabio Ruiz of Napoli? Not sure. I would go for him. I think he's a good player. It's Dean Henderson. Dean Henderson's turned into bloody Liam Payne in his interviews. He's saying, I feel sorry for Lingard. He shouldn't be getting hate from West Ham. He's a good lad and that. And then he's going, obviously, I didn't stay at United because if Ten Hag saw me, he'd play me. And obviously, I want to play. Do you know what, Dean Henderson? Dean Henderson is still freaking employed by Manchester United. We still employ you. You might be on loan at Forest, but we still employ you. And Dean Henderson's coming out saying, I wish I could play against Man United, but I'm on loan. I can't wait to play against Man United, but I'm on loan, so I can't get to play against Man United. And he's almost coming out against United. And it's just like, pipe down, mate. You're on loan. You're on loan. A report has come out from the Telegraph saying all Premier League players will receive mandatory sexual consent training. And if you need to be taught something like this, you're fucked up. But probably what some of the players need as well. Guys, make sure you smash that like button and, of course, subscribe down below to Alice Talks Football if you're new. If you do want to stay up to date with all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates and more, make sure you subscribe because we are going to get the big Sesko news update coming out this week. And Romano has confirmed that Benjamin Sesko will be making a big decision on his future this week. So make sure you subscribe for that as well. But also, I will be doing a watch along for the first game back, Man United versus Brighton, which I'm super excited for as well. And Nick says that Hendo needs to be sold or have his contract terminated. Someone said Laird will start on Sunday, not for United. He's basically left on loan as well. And Hakim Ziyech. Let's actually talk about the Hakim Ziyech rumours. Let's get into the Hakim Ziyech news because actually we're like 40 minutes into the stream and I've barely spoke about Hakim Ziyech, who is in the title of the video. My problem with me is I waffle so much that I'll put something in the title of the video and I won't get into it till half an hour into the stream. So let me actually stop this. I'm going to share with you the Hakim Ziyech news and what has reportedly come out from Hakim Ziyech. Now, I'm not familiar with the source, but we have been linked with Hakim Ziyech a couple times before. And it's come out from someone called Nabil Shalit, but he's got 414,000 followers on Twitter, who is a journalist who works in France, that Erik ten Hag wants to sign Hakim Ziyech at Manchester United. It is one of his priorities, but the Moroccan winger is not unanimous within the club. So Erik ten Hag's potentially turning an interest to Hakim Ziyech. Now he can't get Anthony. This is what was coming out regarding Hakim Ziyech as well. Glazers ruined United step by step. They did. They are the worst owners in the Premier League. And if you disagree with it, then tell me who's worse. What the Glazers have done to this club, I tell you now, put us in debt, letting us rot. We are the biggest club in England. We don't act like the biggest club in England. You know, the people the Glazers employ to do the transfers are people that are bankers. Richard Arnold is fucking likes rugby. He doesn't give a fuck about football. You know, John Murtagh he likes Liverpool. He don't give a fuck about Man United. The reason we're fucked is Woodward and Judge never gave a fuck about how Man United did on the pitch because they didn't like Man United. They're just employed by the Glazers because they knew how to save money and do the commercial side. And while Woodward and Arnold might be an improvement, Murtagh and Arnold might be a big improvement on Woodward and Judge, which is not. I think it's physically impossible to be worse than Woodward and Judge. Do they really care if Man United win a Premier League or not? Probably not, because at the end of the day, one likes rugby, one likes Liverpool. So, you know, they don't feel the passion we feel for United as well. You know, that's what annoys me. Iqbal will not start. I think we could see Iqbal play Europa League games, but there's no way he's starting a Premier League game. As good as he was in pre-season, I thought he showed up at McTominay as well. Charlie says United need a couple of players that can play and put a bit of wind in them to get the fans behind. We do as well. I need to scroll down because I'm quite behind on the chats as well. Would I take Pulisic? Overrated. I prefer Ziyech and Werner. That's just my opinion as well. Tuchel wants almost every player and already spending around 150 million because he lost 2 players in Rudiger and Christensen. Ten Hag lost 8-9 players and spending around 55 million only because of the Glazers. Can you believe that? All the money we've lost, all the players we've lost and the little bit of money we spent. Worst season in multiple years. Lost all these players and we've taken 11 million out in dividends, got 11 million out for Pereira. We've had a net spend of 55 million. United is amateur. They brought Pelestri and sent him to Spain when they could have loaned him to a championship team and learned English. Exactly. I always thought that. Why are we, if we're going to send them away anywhere, send them to the Bundesliga because they can get a bit of practice in. But yeah, and we send them to the most defensive club in Spain. He's a freaking attacker as well. Brian says Garnacho should start. I think Garnacho should come off the bench. I think he's great, but I don't think he's quite at the level yet. Only 81 likes away from 500 likes though, guys. So make sure you smash that like button if you haven't already as well. McTominay's undroppable. McTominay will be dropped. There's a reason Ten Hag's this desperate for Frenkie de Jong. Ten Hag subbed McTominay off nearly every game in pre-season. Ten Hag isn't the biggest fan of McTominay. It was McTominay coming off, not Fred. Ten Hag wants de Jong badly. Ten Hag sees McTominay as the weak point. Donny is not, it's not Donny and McTominay, it's Donny and Fred because McTominay is the one that didn't impress him pre-season. Fred has been seen as that is going to be the temporary 6. McTominay, Ten Hag's not sure what to do. I tell you this now, Maguire will be playing. He's captain. Maguire will be Maguire and Martinez. But McTominay ain't safe at United. We will get a midfielder if we don't get Jong. And that midfielder is going to take McTominay's place. It's not Fred going. It's McTominay going. I will tell you that now. Like a lot, like it's come out and we've been told like multiple times. McTominay has got to impress Ten Hag, and Ten Hag hasn't been impressed with him so far. Ten Hag, likes him, but Ten Hag's thinking about De Jong and Fred. Ten Hag's thinking about maybe let's see if Donny isn't challenging Fred. Donny's challenging McTominay. It's Fred that's got his place pretty much nailed on unless he starts playing crap. McTominay's the one that comes out pre-season going, he'll probably start because he's the most fit and he's got the most experience, and Ten Hag hasn't been here super long, but he's the one that will lose his place to Donny. He's the one that Frenkie de Jong comes in. Frenkie de Jong walks right in McTominay's place. So, one of the reasons people might want Frenkie de Jong is it means McTominay doesn't start, but I do think Maguire will start a bit as well. I wish we went for Nkunku. I tell you that now, it would have been amazing as well. Barca are top spenders. I mean, honestly, with all the debt Barca have, they're still top spenders as well. Ten Hag doesn't rate Maguire either, makes him captain so the dressing room leaks will get reduced. I think Ten Hag does rate Maguire, but I think Ten Hag brought Martinez because he thought Maguire was crap last season. Ten Hag said he brought Martinez because he wanted the left-sided centre-back because he thought we were vulnerable in the left-sided defence when watching us. Maguire played the left-sided defence as well. I'm worried Donny's not going to make it. I think he will. Donny showed glimpses in pre-season. I think he will. I think it might take Donny some time just to be match sharp and fit. But I generally think Donny will. I think him and Eriksen could form a really good connection. Garner's already better than him. I agree. I would play Garner over Scott McTominay. I really would. I thought Garner was really, really impressive in pre-season. I was really, really impressed with Garner as well. Ten Hag said it's not about just signing players. It's about signing the right players. And this could be the reason behind us not signing many players. Exactly. And I'm pretty sure he said that today in his interview. Actually, let's get into the quotes from Ten Hag's interview today. So, Ten Hag came out and said about signing players today. And this was today. I'm just having a cheeky sip of water because I'm so thirsty. Actually, let me get this up on the screen for you guys. Let me get Ten Hag's interview up on the screen for you guys. So, Ten Hag, obviously, as this guy just mentioned, paste this in the chat. Let me get the quote from here. Ten Hag says, we know what we want. It's not about signing players. It's about signing the right players. So we are planning it carefully. We are hard working to get the right players and then construct a good squad who can win games. Ten Hag has confirmed it's not about signing players. It's about signing the right players. 52 million for Cucurella. Fuck me. I tell you what, that's a lot of money as well. United board hurting fans as well. Saeed says Donny and Jong would be perfect, 100 times better than McFred. I want to see Garner get more game time. I 100% agree with you, Saeed. 100%. As well. Mark says it was released by the club and media that they were given permission to leave. Now Erik ten Hag is saying he never gave permission. It's a weird one. It's a weird one, Mark. I don't know who to believe. It's a weird one. But Ten Hag said with his own mouth he didn't want them to leave. So that's what confuses me as well. It also was said by Erik ten Hag today that regarding Frenkie de Jong, he doesn't want to talk about Frenkie de Jong because he's not a contract at Manchester United. And Ten Hag said regarding Ronaldo, he thinks that Ronaldo can fit into the team. It starts with he has to get fit, and he's just started. He's a fantastic football player, has proven so many times. And Ten Hag said regarding Ronaldo, you always get judged by what you are now and what you are performing now, and the team and Ronaldo will have to prove it. So that's Ten Hag saying Ronaldo can get into the team when he's fit, but he's going to have to prove he needs to get into the team. He's going to have to prove he wants it as well. Guys, make sure you smash that like button, and of course subscribe down below if you're new. Fabrizio Romano has confirmed this week that Benjamin Sesko will make a decision in the coming days about whether he wants United, Chelsea, PSG, or to stay at Salzburg. So make sure you subscribe because we will get some big Benjamin Sesko news coming out in the next few days, and we will get an understanding if Sesko is going to happen or not in the next few days. It was also said by Sky Sports that Manchester United have held initial discussions with RB Salzburg over Benjamin Sesko. However, there was a bit of a gap in valuation, but United are discussing whether they should pursue the deal or not. Benjamin Sesko as well. But there is a lot of news on Sesko that's going to come out in the next few days. I think Ziyech could definitely heat up in the next 24 hours. That news is very, very new. But also De Jong. Is De Jong going to pick Chelsea or United? Is De Jong going to agree to join Chelsea, or is he going to agree to join United? Because some reports saying that De Jong's going to agree to join Man United. Some reports saying he's not. So, yeah. I think if we're being honest, Frenkie de Jong will come to United because I just don't think Man United are stupid enough to waste all that time on him. I don't think Sesko goes to Man United. I think his agent will stay. I think the best decision for Sesko is to stay another year in Austria and then make a big move. I think his best bet is to almost go another year in Austria, then do Bundesliga, then do United and work his way up. If we got Sesko, I think our best bet would be to loan him to RB Leipzig or RB Salzburg. Just because, as much as I like Sesko, I think that, you know, you just don't know. Is he 100% ready as well? Ziyech, Dest, Sesko, and Jong seem to be the names we're being linked with, and a backup keeper. I think Anthony is still on, but it's unlikely. But I'm going to wrap up today's live stream, guys. So I do want to thank everyone that tuned into today's live stream. As Diego said, please do subscribe to the channel. Obviously, Manchester United Brighton coming up at the weekend, so there will be a watch along, guys. And so make sure you subscribe for my watch along. Hopefully, we win. I've got lots and lots of uploads coming out over the next few days. I've got a big video coming out tomorrow morning about players being fined, about Ten Hag's new disciplinary rules, and a bit of an inside of what's been going on at Manchester United behind the scenes in the dressing room, and a big look on it. A video coming out about that tomorrow morning. Unless there's some breaking news, then I'll release it tomorrow evening. And then obviously I will be back live tomorrow evening, keeping you guys up to date on all the latest Manchester United news, transfer news, updates, and more. So make sure you click that subscribe button. Make sure you share the video. Thanks to everybody. Thank you to everybody for tuning into today's video. And yeah, I will see you next time. And bye.